Waddy waddy. Now, Jordan Peterson has been speaking on this for a while, but everyone talks about it. I just saw recently a video uploaded. I didn't watch it, but I saw the thumbnail and the title. And he was discussing something along these lines. But here's just something that I talk about it often too. Like, if you just look back at the catalog of my channel, there's a lot of videos talking about this type of stuff. But so his video was titled, "Are Humans Looking at Animals the Wrong Way?" And I talk about that a lot. If you've seen some of my old shorts or just some of my old content, there's a lot of ideas or questions that I ask, and they're kind of perplexing about animals because we genuinely don't know. Oftentimes humans are like anthropomorphizing animals and giving them human traits, and it's not only that, we're looking at them from the perspective of being a human, you know. So there's a lot that we don't understand about their behavior. And then there's even more, like, a little bit more complex things, such as, like, what is it like to not have opposable appendages? So, like, monkey, he has his apprehensile tail, whatever the word is, but it moves basically, so he could like grab onto a branch with it and use his hands in front of him. It's hands. And then you have an octopus with tentacles, so you can kind of see what it's like for them. You can somewhat understand. But then there's things like, what does a dolphin do with its flippers? Like, it's suspended in water, and like it's just hard to understand how they think, especially with how violent dolphins are in nature. It's like, why? Why? Because you view certain animals as predatory, and you view certain animals as docile and like prey items. For example, like a rabbit. You would never think that a rabbit is like vying for itself in nature and defending itself against other animals and like actively attacking other animals because it's a rabbit. Look at it. But when you look at nature, you see them being almost as aggressive. Not aggressive in the sense of, I don't know, it's strange because being predatory is actively seeking out something, right? Like, a predator is actively seeking prey. It wants to consume a prey item. Sometimes predators just aren't looking for prey, and they simply want to kill. Sure, that's a thing, but most of the time it's to give food. And so, with that being said, you have to look at the opposite, which is being territorial. Like, this is my space, I'm not gonna allow you to come in my space. And this is like, this is a strange concept. Humans, we look at, So, think about, in Africa, what do you think has the highest kill count? Most of you already know that it's hippos. Why is it not a lion? Why is it not a leopard? Humans, we grew to be wary of predators. Like, we're genuinely afraid that we'll get attacked by a predator in the night. But we don't think of like a big herbivore as much of a threat. Like, you think of them almost as, okay, this eats plants, and so it's not going to attack me. Like, I understand that for big herbivores it's different because all that mass, that bulking mass, you're aware that it could hurt you, but you don't think that it's going to go out of its way to attack you. But a predator, you're like, oh man, if that thing gets wind of me here, it's over for me. I'm going to need to have something to defend myself, or I'm just going to get mauled. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? I feel as if we grew like to think that herbivores are somewhat our friends. Like, even a cow, like, you underestimate what a cow could do to you. Like, you'll go walk through a cow pasture all willy-nilly to go pick some mushrooms, as if the cows couldn't like turn on you and just fucking completely trample you. And then predators, we've grown to be overcautious of them because, like, look at these videos of people who own a predator as a pet. Like, even a mountain lion. Those are pretty small cats, and they aren't even related to big cats. They're actually more closely related to, domestic cats. Did you know that? That's a pretty interesting fun fact. But when you see these videos, like, on social media where, like, look at the real Mowgli, or the real Tarzan, or think about Mike Tyson. They have, like, tigers and lions. So you constantly see people in the comments that are like, they're making jokes in whatever form that may be, but they're basically saying that you're stupid for owning a big predator like that. Some people are even afraid of dogs to that extent. Like canines, pit bulls. Like, there's just a case where the police pull up and they go to someone's porch and that person has a dog and they say, watch out for my dog. But then the dog gets agitated and it goes on the defensive doing its job. It attacks. And the police take in the dog. Like, he shoots his partner in the leg. And then, because the dog started that altercation in air quotations, now the dog is going to be euthanized most likely. That's strange to me. That whole case is strange, but just look at what I'm saying. They view certain animals as predatory and dangerous, but like, think about it, like a cow, it's literally so much bigger than that dog, and honestly it has so much more strength. Like, it's so much more dangerous. There's like no contest. If you are in a room, would you rather be locked in a room with something that's 1,000 pounds or something that's like 100 pounds? Which one? Honestly. But we view the one that's 1,000 pounds as like docile and friendly. It's so strange. Honestly, that's one point that you can take it. But back to the main point I was making before I like deflected on the police confrontation. Like, so you see people in the comment section and they're like, these big cats, they're so dangerous. They have such a capacity to kill you. It's like, we think that because an animal is predatory in nature, that somehow it's more violent or it's more keen on killing you. But in truth, I feel as if it's actually the opposite. I think that territorial, like bovine, like they're more dangerous in the sense that if you have a predator and it's well fed, it doesn't really have a reason to hurt you. It doesn't really want to. Like, if you're starving your lion and it's not getting a good diet and you're not engaging with it often, then of course it's not going to see you as its friend. It's not going to see you as a companion. But when you really think about it, like, having companions is something that all animals do. You can create like a symbiotic relationship with almost anything in nature. It's weird. Humans see themselves as shepherds, like in the Bible, for example. It's like we have dominion over animals because we view ourselves as more conscious. But it's so crazy because humans are constantly coming to the understanding that they don't understand their own consciousness, and then they'll go tell you that these animals around them, that they have no clue, like they can't even communicate with on the slightest level. They'll just say that's a unconscious animal. Well, I wonder how they view us, especially the ones that can contest us as far as like being inquisitive. Like a dolphin, like what does a dolphin think of a human? I don't know. It's so strange. It's like you can tell that certain animals are intelligent, more intelligent than others. So like my rabbit, my pet rabbit, she's not the most intelligent, but she's certainly not as dumb as most people would make a rabbit out to be. Like, when the door opens, she won't run outside just because she wants to be free. She doesn't, I don't know. It's weird. That's an animal that's in captivity, so that's not really what I was even talking about. And I keep on going off on tangents because I like to talk about animals. But what I'm trying to say is that you view a cow field as a safe place, but you look at a field of like tigers and lions, you know, those they actually exist. They're like reserves, big cat reserves, and they're like huge, you know. There's like a bunch of big cats just living together chilling. It's actually pretty cute. But you view that as a really dangerous place. Yeah, you view them as dangerous. It's just strange because, like, oh, how is it any more dangerous? Like, what's the significance? Is it that they have claws and sharp teeth? Like, that's what makes you think that, like, I don't know. It's like you think that a predator is out to get you. It's pretty funny. Like, as if a prey item is not out to get you. If anything, prey items have more reason to be on edge and attack you. Do you I don't, oh man. Think about the cows. The cows in the field. They literally weigh more. If you spook them, they're like, it's going to be relentless in making sure that you are no longer a threat. A predator is aware that it is menacing and that things are afraid of it. So its interaction is going to be different. But you look at prey items and you're so scared. I don't know. It's pretty funny. That's just one little section of, like, are humans looking at animals the wrong way? I think that it's pretty clear that we are. There's more things you could go into. Like, for example, with the appendages, we feel as if we can understand something that can grasp things. But honestly, the way that we view a mouth, we see a mouth as something that you can, that's just merely for putting food in or biting. But some animals' mouths are literally their appendages, in the sense that a shark, they go up and they mouth things to get a feel for it. Like, not in the sense of, oh, I think you're a seal, I'm going to come tear you up. But they literally just go up to things and they aren't attacking it. They're literally just, like, it's not like a puppy teething, but it's like that. They're just gnawing on it just because they want to know what it is. That's how it gets to know what things are, you know? They don't have hands to be able to do that. So it's strange, just the way that we view animals. I don't know. Peace out. What are some interesting points in this topic that you guys think about constantly? Waddy. Oi. Earlier talking about how do we perceive animals, and are we perceiving them the wrong way? I just thought of something more to add. The way we see size in nature is kind of strange. You think that, well, based on what I said in the previous recording, I was talking about, because I just brought up the point that a hippopotamus or herbivores, large herbivores, they have so much more mass, and thus they can also be dangerous. But this is different. I'm not trying to say that, go back on what I said in the past, but I'm trying to add more. So we look at a little animal like an insect, and you would think that that insect is afraid of you because you're menacing and you're so large and you could easily kill it. But then sometimes an insect picks a fight with you. And some insects are literally aggro. They're like vicious, and we just know to stay away from them. Like a spider, you're aware that a spider can be poisonous. And most of the time spiders will run away from you. But sometimes when that spider is provoked enough, it's gonna be like, I've had it with you. And straight up take you off the senses. Like that one guy says. I was thinking about reptiles when I had started thinking on this idea. So just reptiles, like look at the anoles, like the little lizards that live around your area. One thing that got me to start realizing that maybe I was looking at nature in a strange or a weird way was, like, you think of a reptile as a mindless, just like just run around, give food, fuck, shit, typical mindless behavior of just a sentient living thing. But then I started to realize that even the tiny little anoles were taking notice to me. Like, it's strange. You go sit outside and there's like a brown anole or a Florida green anole. And you know, they usually are running around and flexing, you know, trying to find a mate or fight off some other males, you know. But you never really take thought into like what is going on in that little thing's head. What does it think of this world? I feel like the concepts that we created are kind of not tainting, but they're kind of misconstruing the way that we see nature. In the sense that like we believe that we're like one of the only like species that understands its mortality, and if not that, to this extent, to where we know that one day we're going to expire. Like, I don't know, I feel like it's strange because you'll see animals devote themselves to a task knowing that they could die. It's pretty obvious. And then you'll see animals that become old and sick separate themselves from a group as if they know that they're sick. And then the idea that animals go out of their way to medicate themselves with certain remedies that they've come to learn will help them. So how is it that we think that they can't perceive, or they have no idea of their own mortality? It's kind of strange. There's animals committing suicide, straight up offing themselves. Like birds. Why are birds committing suicide? You flew up there. Nothing happened while you were up there that hurt you. You jumped down and you did not even attempt to fly. You just jumped down as if you wanted to die. And honestly, you can fly, so I feel as if that's an obvious suicide right there. I don't know. It's strange. But back to the anoles. So when you go outside, most of the time you don't even take notice of them, except for the fact that you hear like scampering over leaves, and you're like, that something just ran. But then you realize, oh, that wasn't something big. It was a little lizard running across. And like they'll be sitting on your porch or just sitting outside on your windowsill, and you look at them. And then you can tell that they notice you because their heads are literally cocking and their eyes are literally squinting. You can see that they're obviously directing their attention towards you. And then sometimes it's like when you're looking at a mirror, you can tell, oh, that's me, that's nothing there. But it's strange when you realize that even small animals are taking notice to you. Like one of the things that always intrigued me as a kid was how predatory jumping spiders, they would like move side to side. Like sometimes like it's like there's videos where the insect looks like it's dancing. Not even insects only, but just small little creatures look like they're dancing. But it's really that they took notice to you and like they can see you. But sometimes they literally don't perceive you as a threat. Now, is that because they think they are confident in their means of escape? Is it because they know that most of the time you don't want anything to do with them? Like, there's so many ideas. It makes you start thinking about, like, your intent, like malice and like energy. I don't want to take it from like an unscientific like observation of nature, but if we start getting into the philosophy of things, it's like when you call your dog's name, your dog is aware that you're calling its name. But when you call your dog's name with like anger in your voice, your dog is going to know that it's in trouble. And so think about that without actually being vocal. There's things that we know animals can pick up on without having had like an actual physical interaction, in the sense that there's the electromagnetic spectrum, and then I think it's something about like I really don't know what it is, but like animals are somehow able to monitor like your insides, and say if you're at a health risk, your dogs can like alert the authorities. Literally, they'll save your life. Like an oncoming heart attack, your dog can help you avoid that. So that type of stuff is just strange, because then when you think about intent, like malice, like humans have that amongst ourselves. Like you could get a bad feeling and then leave a room and something bad will happen in that room and you'll be like, oh my god. I don't know. So just in application to nature, animals, think about that. That's pretty strange, right? Do you think that there is a sense that animals have to where they can see something's intent, like not precognition, but something's intent, in the sense that one time I was outside and there was this pole, like a telephone pole. There was a squirrel there, and then like 4 white ibises literally flew up right by the squirrel, like so close to the squirrel, and the squirrel at first, like, it wasn't phased. And then, like, once the ibises started walking up to it, it kind of got weary, and it ran, but it was on the very bottom of the pole, like, it didn't even try to run up the pole. But that's because the squirrel realized, wait a minute, these aren't predatory birds, they're ibises. Their beaks are literally long and narrow. They don't go out of their way to hunt things. They have, like, how does a rodent know the difference between a predatory bird and, like, just a regular bird? Like, the wingspan of an ibis flying in, like, it looks like a predatory bird. It has such a big wingspan. It's just strange. What do you guys think of these types of things, these types of ideas? Peace out.